Hello, all again. I wanted to walk you through probably this kind of last administrative type of video about how to do the discussion boards for this class. So let me say kind of from the outset, as I kind of have on the document here that explains these discussions, I admittedly have had mixed success with discussions. Sometimes I've made this class a hybrid class only because the discussions were so difficult to do. Sometimes I've done it online, and you've probably more likely than not have had other online classes where the discussions are all posted at the last minute, the replies are somewhat forced, and I didn't think that that's a very good solution either. So I want to try something different here. I want to try something where we can have the discussions, but it becomes less of a chore and more of really its intended purpose, which is that you have a chance to share your thoughts, opinions about something, and that you learn from each other, and that you also have some way to make those connections in your head about the material to everyday life. So the way that I'm going to do this, these discussion boards, I think one of the more useful ways to do this is through Lalima. Not through Lalima, but rather through Google Classroom. So I'm probably half of you have used Google Classroom before, maybe half of you have not, but it's a pretty easy system to use. And again, we're only going to be using it for the discussion boards. So there's a way in which I'll walk you through how to sign up for Google Classroom. But what I want to do here is I'm going to be posting news articles, and you're all going to be making posts. And those posts, what I'm looking for here, as you can kind of see here, is that one, you'll have read the article and that you're making at least one original thought or contribution, something that maybe someone else didn't post, or even if they did post it, that it's written sufficiently differently that it doesn't seem like you just copied and pasted someone else's thought. Then I need you to basically extend that thought out. So you're not going to need a lot of words to do this, but I'm not sure if you need a couple of paragraphs. I mean, some of you may feel you need to do that, but basically you make your thought, then you develop that thought or contribution further. And this would be where I can tell as the reader of it that your thought is and your contribution is truly original. Because, right, it'd be enough to say, I agree with this article because I don't think that farmers should be treated this way, as an example. But, right, 29 other people in the class might have also said, I don't think farmers should be treated this way. The difference is going to be in why you think that. And then there's the typical point that exists. So this is a discussion posting that's graded on a 3-point scale, where then you would make a reply. Now the reply can be as short or as long as needed. It can't be just I agree or you go or something like that, but it does need to be a little bit, maybe challenging the person in a respectful way, or highlighting something that the other person didn't see, or being in agreement and kind of articulating why you agree with that person. But now here's the difference, is that over the course of this semester, there are a total of 10 postings. The first one is just an introduction, so you don't have to reply or anything like that, and you don't need to do these things. It's not graded. But the others are graded, and basically you don't need to reply all the time, but you can. And if you replied all the time and you did all these things for all 10 of them, you would then have 30 points. And it's going to be divided, though, by 25, which would mean that you earned 5 points extra credit and you're a little bit further ahead. If you only reply, so then basically, in essence, you're only having to reply half the time. Because then if you did that and then half the time this was a 0 and half the time this last point was a 1, then you would be at 25. Again, I'm hoping that what that translates into in like an in-person class is sometimes people don't say something for something, and it doesn't, maybe you're not interested in the topic, maybe you have nothing to say, maybe it's just not your week and you've got other things going on. Then you basically get a free break half the time from having to reply to something. What I'm hoping, though, what I'm really truly hoping is that it makes the replies more meaningful, because then that half the times you do need to have a somewhat meaningful response. Okay. But again, 100 words, certainly no more than, I don't think you need more than 250. Paragraphs, I'm not sure if several paragraphs, I don't know if you would need to do that, but the reply must be, not the reply, but the original posting would need to be something meaningful. So here's how we're going to do it. So let's say here, let me get out of this and let me log out of this completely here. So here's how you would do this. You would log in to classroom.google.com. And now in my case, I'm actually already logged in. So let me log out. Okay. So let's do this again. Classroom.google.com, and I am now logged out. Then you would need to log in. Now, you will want to log in with your UH account. That way I'll know who is who. So I'm going to log in with my UH account. Okay. And in my case, this first screen is going to look a little different than what you see because I already have a class here. But let me walk you through how to add this class. So what you're going to see in the far upper right-hand corner is first that you're logged in under your UH account, which would be important because if your computer is already logged into your other Gmail account, you'll need to log out of that and log into your UH account. Then you'll want to click this plus button right here. So I'm going to click that and I'm going to click Join a Class. So then it's asking for your class code. Your class code as identified here is this code right here, G4VEJJ. So when you do that, I'm not sure exactly what's going to ask you, but it will ask you probably a few things. And then when you log into classroom.google.com under your name, then this class will appear. Okay. Then all that you will see here are the postings. So you'll see these here. And under classwork up here, you will see each of the assignments. So so then basically we have this first one here, introduction, but the due date should be pretty clear. But let's look at an example here. So let's look at this one for elasticity. So I have, generally speaking, the same instructions for each of these here. Is that you are reading the article, keeping in mind this concept of elasticity, tell me something that you learned and how the class material was applied, and you can share your own opinions as well. So the idea would be is that you read this article and then you write something. Pretty easy. So then we have these then posted for basically each topic. And that's essentially it. Again, in the instructions, I tried to be pretty clear about what my intent is, why we're doing this. But if you have any questions, especially in the beginning, let me know. I'll be a lighter grader in the beginning because we're all trying to get, you are all trying to gauge the work level and what is needed to do this assignment. But then again, as the weeks progress, the idea would be is that you know what you're doing and you will have a better idea of how to get full points for these discussions. Okay.